Good morning. About a third of the way through this cup of coffee. Went to bed early last night and woke up early this morning. But I got a full 7 hours of sleep, which is phenomenal. I'd been out of magnesium for a couple days, well, actually about 5 days. And last night it came in the mail. So I was able to have a little bit of magnesium before I went to bed, and that always seems to help. What really helps is a chai latte, the caffeine-free style. I'm not sure if it's the warm milk or the actual chai or what, but that helps me sleep. And last night the magnesium really did me well. So I woke up this morning, around 5:30, which is pretty phenomenal to get 7 hours sleep uninterrupted. It was pretty. I woke up very happy. I also have a sleep app. I think it's called Auto Sleep. And it monitors your heart rate, I'm not sure how it does it, but it knows when you're in deep sleep and when you're in light sleep and when you woke up, and I've had this app for probably 4 years now, and it has helped me straighten out a lot of sleep problems I was having. I understand that Apple now does the same thing. They kind of have the momentum with the auto sleep. So it's on my phone and it just keeps on going. I see the Apple pop-ups coming up on my phone telling me how my sleep was, but I've gotten used to the auto sleep. Really been enjoying my coffee a lot lately. It's raining. I don't know if you can hear it. Been raining probably for about 30 minutes. Well, since I got up. So maybe a little bit before. Going to be a very wet day, which in my line of work means a lot of hazards from the other drivers. I live near 3 schools. My work schedule allows me to go in late, and many days come in late. Hey, Raja. Come home late, I mean. So I oftentimes miss all of the school traffic. I'll be missing it today. Don't bump the rig. It's a challenge, to say the least. There are a lot of things in truck driving, especially localized delivery truck driving. Oh, this cat. Oh boy. Come over here. Come on. I know. There's a lot of daily traffic. And that's complicated even more by the rain. And it's not usually the people in the rain that are the problem, that tend to go the same speed as when they are in good weather. It is the people that want to do 30 miles an hour in a 55 or 65. You can't drive. So you're not supposed to outdrive your sight line. So as far as you can see, the amount that you're supposed to be able to, the amount of distance you can travel and then stop is as fast as you're supposed to go. That way there's never an obstacle that you can't avoid. A lot of people will do, in a light rain, 15 miles an hour on the interstate. This is probably one of the most dangerous things you can do on the interstate. You'll get rear-ended. Eventually, you'll get rear-ended. So, these are the issues that a lot of truck drivers have during the rain. During the normal weather conditions, perhaps the biggest problem I face on the daily is people stopping beyond the stop line. If you ever see a stop line that seems to be recessed way back from the stoplight or stop sign or anything like that, somebody needs attention today. If you ever see one of those stop lines, there's a reason that stop line's there, and that is the truck drivers need that extra room to turn. It doesn't, if you haven't driven a truck, it doesn't make sense, but the physics of driving a truck demand in a lot of situations that you pull out in front of that stop line. And that stop line is set back so that a truck can swing out in front of it and then come back in beside it. That lets the trailer follow the truck out and then come back in without running over the curb. When you're out past that stop line, which seems a bit too far back to you, what you're actually doing is impeding truck drivers from efficiently making the turns. And if you look to the left when you're at a stop line like that, you'll see that the curb is tore up and the grass or whatever vegetation is normally there is dirt, and there's no vegetation there. That's a pretty good sign that there's a problem at that intersection with people pulling up past the stop line. I know there's times you can't see at a stop sign the intersection and you have to pull up. But if there's a truck already in the intersection or at the stop sign and you pull up past the stop sign and it was his turn to make his turn, you've impeded that truck's motion. And that's not a good thing. Trucking is all about pennies. It's very tight as far as the profit margins go. So having the truck have to sit there for an extra 2 or 3 minutes means he's idling a little more. And you take that and you expand it across the fleet. Eventually, the price of products go up. That's what everything in trucking is about, minimizing fuel use. And if you're an hourly trucking company, pay your employees hourly, minimizing that man hours. So that's why you see a lot of the things in trucking as you do. I know it's a little thing, but over a fleet of trucks, over all the trucks in America that have to sit and wait, that idle time, that burning up that fuel. And if you are a environmentalist and you're doing that, well, you're fighting against yourself. It's just kind of rude. I mean, you see a lot of rude on the road. I have to remind myself oftentimes, there are a lot of drivers on the road that are behaving very good and doing their job well. It is the bad drivers that stand out, and it makes it feel like there are a lot of bad drivers. There aren't. Most drivers are they're pretty cognizant of what's going on around them, and they're doing a good job. It's the squeaky wheel that gets the oil. So those bad drivers are the ones that are catching our attention. I have to remind myself that there's a lot more good drivers than bad drivers. Just like in life. There are a lot more good people than bad people. The problem is the bad people stand out. The people who are misbehaving stand out. Like I said, I live next to 3 schools, an elementary, secondary, junior high, and a high school. For the most part, we never have any problem with students. For the most part. Once in a while, there's a bad egg that does some ridiculous things. And that's the person that stands out. But, for the most part, pretty decent kids. There are over 600 homes in my neighborhood. For the most part, everybody is just living their lives, doing their thing. It's a great community. For the most part. Maybe that's the title of this episode. For the most part. But it's those squeaky wheels that always seem to be raising hell. The rest of the community is pretty decent. Dropped in like a paratrooper, didn't you, girl? So, when you see a big truck, be courteous. Be cognizant that this big truck has extra room issues that a car doesn't have, and surely a motorcycle doesn't have. Don't play truck tag on your motorcycle. That'll get you killed. We don't always see you. Sometimes we change lanes, we don't even know you're there. Blow your horn. Doesn't bother us. It may bother a bad trucker. It won't bother a good trucker. Turn my turn signal in. You happen to be in my blind spot. I haven't seen you. I start to come over. Blow your horn. I'd rather you blow your horn than me hit you. A lot of paperwork involved with that, and injury and death. I kind of like horns. I've gotten into the habit when I'm driving my personal vehicle and the wife says, "Look out," or "You see him?" or "Easy." Used to be my first habit, my first instinct was, "Stop it, I'm driving this car." No. Someone's in the car with me, appreciate all the help I can get now. So, my initial response might be, or, "Oh geez," or, "I see him." But I remind myself to thank them, because I want them to continue to do that. Driving a car on the roads of America is everybody's responsibility that has anything to do with the car. From the person driving the car, to the trucks, to the motorcycles, to the pedestrians. I tried to convey this to the young people in my life. When you see someone, swerving in a lane, pay extra close attention to those people. Perhaps they got distracted for a moment. Perhaps they just spilled a cup of coffee on their lap. Fault is not relevant here. What's relevant is that the same mass of matter does not try to occupy the same place. Back up, get around them quickly, whatever. Drive for that person. They may be having a bad time at that moment. Or they may be on their cell phone. It is what it is. I use CarPlay in my car. So if someone calls me, it's just a matter of tapping a button on the steering wheel. I can answer the phone. I control everything I want to do in the car with voice commands. It's wonderful. It's not an added distraction. It has now become less of a distraction for me because I can tell my car to go to work. It'll use Waze, an awesome app, to check the traffic and find the best route. I don't ever have to look at the screen. I don't have to touch my phone. I just go. It's great. And in my line of work, saved me countless hours of sitting in traffic because I knew to go around it. Never had to touch my phone. Can send a message to somebody if I think of something. I think of it all the time with the wife. I'll say, hey, I can't use her name because I had a lot of home pods and phones and whatnot in the area. But I'll say, hey, drive to, or hey, text someone. Never take my eyes off the road. It's wonderful. Technology is unbelievable. We're going to ramble all morning, evidently. I woke up early, so I have a little extra time. This is a challenging day ahead, which is fine. This is what they pay me for. My colonoscopy is behind me, and that's great. I'm a big wuss when it comes to anesthesia. A lot of people enjoy the nap. I don't like being out of control. Again, might have something to do with my occupation. I want to have the steering wheel in my hand. That includes the steering wheel of life. So, I think that's all I have this morning. It's going to be a good day. I feel like I had a good night's sleep. I do a health check most mornings before I get on here. My blood pressure was 108 over 72. Phenomenal. The weight loss has really helped. I've trended up since Christmas. I've got to get that back under control. My blood sugar, phenomenal. Within normal limits, which is what you shoot for. My resting heart rate, phenomenal. I'm ready to get back on my bicycle. I believe this Sunday coming we spring ahead, so daylight savings, we'll get that late night daylight, that not late night but late evening daylight going again, and I can get on my bike and tempt the drivers of my neighborhood. This is not my normal cup, and I am not the guy that has to have everything just so. I'm not that guy. If you look around the room right now, I got a stack of mail here. There's some kind of flyer over here. I got a cat dish on the table in front of me. My socks. There's usually a Glock or two sitting here. I don't have to have everything set just right, but I have gotten used to my coffee cup. It's in the dishwasher. And this sucker right here, although it has a big handle, look at the size of that handle. It's not as big as my other one. My other coffee cup, they Black Rifle Coffee sold me that coffee cup. I think it was $27. A ridiculous, no, I think it was $35. I think one of these is $27 now. It was a ridiculous amount of money to pay for a coffee cup. And the only reason I paid for it was their advertising got me. It was called the Perfect Coffee Cup. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's the perfect coffee cup. I really like that thing. And when I don't have it, this is my second favorite, but the handle, see my pinky? I got small hands. I don't know why they make coffee cups with such small handles. And a buddy at work pointed that out to me. He said he wants the same coffee cup I have because of the big handle. When he comes over, I got to keep an eye on him. He's liable to walk out with it. Watch yourself, Paul. But it's a way overpriced coffee cup, which if I break it and they still offer it, I'll get another one. It's the little things in life that make life better. Like keeping a good attitude. I hope you keep a good attitude today. And she's not up yet, so I can say it. Have a great cup of coffee. Until next time.